Hi, how everybody doing today? Today is June the 14th, 2023. The time is 5:03, and we're going to have a little Bible study. I'm starting at 5 o'clock because I'm going to try to turn into a bean. He come on at 7. So I'm going to start at 5 every Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Let's do a little devotion. Go to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 32. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 32 read. Thou shalt rise up before the horned head and honor the face of the old man and fear the God I am the Lord. That's in Leviticus chapter 19, verse 32. Let's go to the throne of grace. Our Father in heaven, may your name be honored, may your kingdom come soon, may your will be done here on earth. Just in heaven, give us our food for today. We ask thee not to take that I speak the truth out of my mouth about their word tonight. I'm starting at 5 o'clock because I want to hear being at 7. So, go to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 32. I'm praying for Ashley, the guy who's moving in with me, Fred, Tasha, my niece. And I'm preaching about you tonight, niece. I'm praying I see. Tell that again. Big Mama, you still got that number blocked. In Jesus' name we pray. Danny Anthony, I'm praying for y'all. So y'all, what I'm finna do. Let's go to Leviticus. Stand up for the reading of the word. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 32. Thou shalt rise up before the horned head and honor the face of the old man and fear the God I am the Lord. The title of this message right here, let me see what I wrote down. Part 1. Title of this message, the oldest niece. I'm going to talk about the older niece first, then we're going to talk about the middle niece. Okay, here we go. Here goes some notes. Okay. 40 Bible verse, anger and grace and wisdom inspire me. Timothy 1, chapter 5, verse 8. Corinthians 2, chapter 4, verse 16. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7. Deuteronomy chapter 37, verse 7. Revelation. Did we say Revelation? Now, Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 10. Exodus chapter 20, verse 12. Genesis chapter 6, verse 3. Genesis chapter 25, verse 8. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 29. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. Isaiah chapter 46, verse 44. Job chapter 5, verse 26. Job chapter 12, verse 12. Job chapter 12, verse 2. Job chapter 12, verse 7. Joshua chapter 2, verse 28. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 32. Philip chapter 1, verse 9. Psalm chapter 71, verse 9. Psalm chapter 71, verse 18. Psalm chapter 72, verse 26. Psalm chapter 9, verse 10. Psalm chapter 90, verse 12. And Psalm 91, 16. Turn over to the back. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 6. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 29. Proverbs chapter 23, verse 22. Psalm chapter 32, verse 35. Colossians 1. Colossians chapter 2, 29, verse 28. King 1, chapter 3, verse 14. Psalm chapter 92, verse 14. Psalm chapter 102, verse 5. Child, chapter 2, verse 3. Timothy 1, chapter 5, verse 12. Put it in note now. Okay. I got some more notes. Corinthians 2, chapter 4, verse 16 to 18. Job chapter 12, verse 12. Job chapter 32, verse 7. Tide chapter 2, verse 2 to 5. Psalm chapter 92, verse 12 to 14. Timothy 1, chapter 5, verse 1. Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 16. Proverbs chapter 23, verse 22. Timothy 1, chapter 5, verse 8. James chapter 1, verse 27. Timothy 1, chapter 5, verse 16. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 20. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 31. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 29. Put it in note now. Let me see what it says. So, put that note down. Okay. What does the Bible say about your older niece? Leviticus, I'm explaining, I think. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 32. It's part of this verse. We rise in the person of the age and humor from. Do you need reason to You have seen words of harmony. Even through your oldest, the Bible gives it to you. Okay, 25 verses about oldest and angry. Isaiah chapter 46, verse 4. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 32. Leviticus chapter 40, verse 31. Deuteronomy chapter 34, verse 7. Ruth chapter 4, verse 15. Psalm chapter 90, verse 12. And Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7. Okay, what did the Bible say about respecting elders? Leviticus chapter 19, verse 32. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4. Timothy 1, chapter 5, verse 1. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 1. Peter 1, chapter 5, verse 1 to 4. Exodus chapter 20, verse 13. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 29. Peter 1, chapter 5, verse 5. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 17. Titus chapter 2, verse 15. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 11. Timothy 1, chapter 5, verse 1 to 2. Timothy 1, chapter 5, verse 2. Mark chapter 7, verse 9 to 13. John 1, chapter 2, verse 1 to 29. Matthew chapter 18, verse 15 to 20. Proverbs chapter 23, verse 22. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 20.